I call to order the Riverview Community School District Board of Education regular meeting for November 28th, 2023. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr.
Here.
Vice President Dominski.
Here.
Secretary Walker here. Treasurer Davis.
Here.
Trustee Meeks.
Here.
Trustee O'Brien.
Here.
Trustee Toth.
Here.
Now we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start off with our fall athletic accomplishments and recognition.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming tonight. As we have the last several years, if not many years, we've had quite a fall sports season. Big testament to our young student athletes, boys and girls, and our coaching staff who dedicate so much time out of their own family time and commit to Riverview student athletics. So I want to commend everybody as a whole, even the student athletes that haven't been here are not here tonight, and quite a few are frankly multi-sport athletes, and I know the winter sports have started tonight, so not all of them are here. They're not snubbing us, they're just already active with the winter. So I want to congratulate all our teams and coaches, even those not in attendance, for a fantastic fall season. We continue to be a shining star, not just academically, but athletically as well. And again, it's a testament to their commitment to Riverview. So without further ado, we're going to start with our girls swimming team. Coach Piquel, I think I saw him. They had another great season in the pool for the girls, and they're already started up with the boys as well, so great job.
Want to start off by thanking the school board. Once again, this is an awesome recognition for all the athletes and all the teams every season. Also, congratulate all the other sports teams here. Bunch of other guys that I've coached in other sports here, so love to see the representation here. So just kind of recap our season. So we finished runner-up in the Huron League and the Smizzle League this year, and today we are honoring our state team. So I will start by calling up Mia Senegi and Jaden Fry and Ali Albania. These three girls qualified, as well as Evie Mack, who was unable to make it here tonight, and Livia Zeta, who I'm holding off on because she has some other individual accolades. But these girls here qualified for the state meet in the 200 free relay, and it's worth noting that last year, the 200 free relay that made the state meet also broke our varsity record. 3 of those girls graduated last year, and these girls here stepped up to fill the spots and qualify for the state meet this year. They were joined by Livia Zeta, who I'll call up now. Livia was a part of the 200 free relay that qualified for the state meet, and she also qualified for states in the 50, 100, 200, and 500 freestyle events. So that is both the shortest and longest event and everything in between. She actually raced in both the 50 and 500 at the state meet and medaled in both of those races. And last year she didn't have any individual qualifying times. So it was a really big improvement, and it goes to show the off-season work that she and the rest of the girls here have put into the season. I also do want to honor, although she's working tonight, Kate Zalewski. She was our our diver that qualified for the state meet this year, and she actually scored high enough at the regional meet to qualify for All-American consideration. So we've sent her videos of her dives in to a committee who will then look at the videos and vote on the top 100 divers in the country. So we'll see if she ends up being All-American. But even if not, the consideration alone is a huge achievement. She's only been diving for, I believe, about 16 months. So she started last year, her junior year, a little bit late into the season, and she had an awesome season. She broke our varsity record in one of the diving events that was set back in the 90s. And I guess worth noting, too, that Livia also broke the varsity record that was 20 years old in the 50 freestyle, and she's knocking on the door of some other ones. So it's a round of applause for our awesome swimmers.
Job again, girls and coaches. Tremendous effort in the pool, and if anybody's ever swam, it's not an easy sport, and it's a lot of commitment and time. So good job, girls. Next, we're going to bring up our varsity football team. Head coach Derek McLaughlin.
All right, to reiterate, I can't say that word, what Coach Pakel said, board, thank you for having us, and community, thank you for supporting us. We had great support from fans all throughout the year, even though we were only scheduled with 3 home games this year because of scheduling. We ended up getting 5, and every time it was packed, but the season was kind of a one in question. We started off with a lot of question marks with who's going to replace all the people that we lost from last year, and we lost some very good players making it to the semifinals, and we got on a little bit of a rocky roads to start and then won a lot of games throughout the season, bounced back, and won our 4th consecutive Huron League title, which that's not something that's very easy to do, and it hasn't happened a lot in history. And it's a testament to these guys that put all the work in throughout the summer, throughout the winter, and in the off season. And they're a great group to coach. There's a lot of guys I'm going to miss dearly, and I'm very, very proud of them and everything that they have accomplished. So we have 6 guys here tonight, and I'll just go in alphabetical. Joey Avoris. Braden Evans. Max Lockhart. Joseph Pagano. Nico Papadopoulos. And Garrett Timmerman. Thank you again.
Yeah, get in here for a picture.
Oh, you're in?
Again, great job to Coach Mack and his staff, who, as he humbly alluded to, continues to have success even with graduation, and we look forward to flipping next year. We've got 5 guaranteed home games and then hopefully a couple more. So great job to his staff and the young men who work so hard. Next, we have boys cross country, Coach Shoup.
Okay, we have 4 seniors to recognize today for being state meet qualifiers. First one we'll bring up is Danielle Hinahos. Danielle ended up being our lead runner this year for the female squad. She was a second team all league member this year. She was all area, and then she ended up qualifying for the state meet by placing in the top 15, which at the beginning of the year was probably not something that was on our radar for her, but through her hard work and dedication, she was able to work her way up and have a great race at regional and then qualify and run in her first state meet for us. Next runner we'll bring up is Israel Garcia. Israel, he was generally our third ranking boy on the team. Again, someone who going into the regional meet was ranked in about the 20th spot and needed to have a good race to come through and qualify, placing in the top 15 for the regional race. And he came in at 14th, kind of making it a no-doubter with a huge race in PR at the regional meet. And so he was able to run at the state meet as well with Danielle and the next 2 young gentlemen we'll bring up. So the next one will be Hayden Holmes. Hayden was able to run in his second state meet. He was a part of our state meet qualifying team 2 years ago when they went. And then he was able to place in the 8th overall in the meet. And he was also a first team all league member. Forgot to mention that Israel Garcia was a second team all league member. Hayden Holmes was also a all downriver selection. And then a state meet qualifier by placing 8th. And ending his career here at being a sub 17-minute runner. So he ended up with a PR of 16:49. So it places him about 13th all time in Riverview history. And our last runner we'll bring up is Logan Ruffner. Logan's had quite a few accolades this year, including the state meet and 2 other postseason meets. He ran a total of 15 races and only didn't place first in, I think it's 5 of them. He ended up placing second at the regional third at regional meet. He was a Huron League champ to go along with a freshman year Huron League champ, so he's a 2-time Huron League champion in his time here at Riverview. He won the Downriver invite as well, so he's the Downriver champ. And then at the state meet, came in with about a ranking of 19th or 20th. He ended up placing 8th, which is the highest placing by a Riverview cross-country athlete. He then went on to run in the Michigan Meet of Champions, and he placed as a top 12 senior at that meet, which then qualified him to run in a Mid-East Meet of Champions, which is Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, the top 12 seniors from all schools go and race, and he was a part of a team that brought home the championship to Michigan, so he was awarded that as well. And he ends his career here at the state meet. He ran his best time. It's our school record. It's a 15:23.7. And so anyone who does the math on that, he ran back to back 458 miles. And then he finished a 200 meter, which is a half a lap around the track in 29 seconds. So to place 8th. And so he'll walk out of here as a school record holder and the most accomplished distance runner we've had here at Riverview. So that's our 2023 state meet qualifiers for cross country.
Congratulations. Scoot in here. Great job. We have another team to recognize, our Riverview Varsity Boys Soccer Team. Coach Zielinski is here.
Yes, congrats to all of the programs here. It was really fun seeing how well the swim team was doing this year and watching and hearing their scores and updates, along with the cross-country team and the football team and everybody that was in athletics at Riverview. It was really fun to see that, how well everyone did. The Riverview boys soccer team lost 14 seniors from last year's team that went on to the state Final Four. So it was a lot of shoes to fill there, but man, they had a great season. We ended up losing our first game of the year against Divine Child, and then we lost a game against Dearborn Etzel Ford. But I always love to get that hard schedule. And after that, we went on a roll. We went 15-5-2. We had our third Huron League championship in the last 4 years, our fourth district championship in a row, and just an outstanding season. The senior group, if they were on the team for 4 years, which was three of our guys, they had 71 wins, which was a school record for the amount of wins in 4 years. An outstanding team. We ended up getting all the way to regionals, losing to eventual state runner-up Mason, 2-1 with, I think it was 36 seconds left. 37, I don't know. They scored on us right at the end. A heartbreaking loss, but then that team went on to get all the way to the state championship, and then lost in the state championship. Super proud of everything they've been able to accomplish as a senior class and the juniors. So it really was an outstanding run for this team. I'd like to call them up, and then we've got a couple individuals we can talk about too. But Sean McCoy. Gabe Whitaker. Congrats, Sean. Gavin Barchek. Congrats, Gabe. Ethan Emery. Congrats, Gavin. Roberto Reyna. Congrats, Ethan. Mateo Demiri. And Nate Roberts. Congrats. Congrats, Nate. Just a really fun group to coach, and the most successful team. We had 4 guys get All-State accolades. Angelo Male got All-State honorable mention. Then third, Jack Bias, a junior, got third team All-State. TJ Ashudo was second team All-State. And then we had a couple extra accolades for Denino Glitchevich, who had 49 goals on the season. He was first team All-State the past 2 years. He was Offensive Player of the Year for the State of Michigan Division II the past 2 years. And just had an amazing year, but scoring goals for this team. But it was a whole team effort, a great group of guys. So they really deserve everything they got this year, and proud of them. So thank you very much.
Congratulations again to the boys soccer team. Very similarly to football, Coach Z and his staff continues to impress with fabulous graduation of seniors, and then they continue to reload with more success. So great job. While we're having our first winter day, we're going to shift gears to the spring, and we want to introduce our new varsity girls softball head coach, Mr. Brett Logan. If you could come on up for a second, Coach. He's just joined our Pirate team, so we expect to see him and his girls up here in the summer to be recognized. He's been coaching for a long time served as our 7th grade softball assistant last season, as the head coach of the 14U Michigan Renegades, a highly competitive and successful team that I've been able to watch. So we look for him to bring that success here to Riverview. And Brett embodies many of our qualities as a Riverview role model that will continue to nurture our student athletes, and we're looking forward to him leading our entire softball program to success in the future. So welcome aboard, Coach Logan.
Thank you.
If you want to shake everybody's hand. One more presentation. If I could have all of our teachers being honored tonight to come on up. Come on up. Are they all yours? Yeah, is that the only one? All right, we wanted to, as we mentioned, with our student athletes, their continued success on the fields and courts and pools are admirable, but without our staff's commitment to supporting them academically and doing such a good job to have them achieve at high levels. One of the things the coaches maybe failed to mention is how many of our students qualify for academic success, whether it's within our league, our area. So this group here helps foster that academic success, so we wanted to recognize them tonight. Our middle school admin, Mr. Gill, Ms. Gurney are here because just about everybody here is one of their staff members, so a testament to their recruitment or not. But I'll acknowledge Miss Callie Robillard. She's a high school math teacher. She's got her own daughters in our district that really cares about Riverview and does a fantastic job with our math program. Really has excelled with some of our intervention programs, working with those kids that really need that extra help. So congratulations to Callie.
Mrs. Gurney and myself would like to recognize a great group of teachers that have had such a positive impact at Seats Middle School. They've all assumed leadership roles and have built great relationships with our students and their families. Our first teacher here achieving tenure status is Mr. Sohn. Mr. Sohn is a Riverview grad and was proud to come back to Riverview to support our community. During his short 2 years here so far, he's built and developed a math curriculum in cooperation with his PLC. He's one of our MTSS strategy teachers who supports our students who are struggling in math, and he also takes time after school to tutor our students on Mondays. So, Mr. Sohn, congratulations. Our next teacher achieving tenure status is Mrs. Baxter. Mrs. Baxter has successfully managed her caseload of students and established an outstanding reputation with our students, parents, and staff. She's the leader of our Disability Awareness Committee. She's our MTSS team member, a PLC leader, an instructional rounds leader, and she's a mentor to 2 of our new teachers. Mrs. Baxter. The next 2 will be introduced together because they're always together. Mrs. Chrysler and Mrs. Alamont have both successfully completed their 4-year probationary status here at Seats Middle School. They've both built and developed a STEM curriculum. They're our school improvement chair members. They, in the past, have worked with our Girl Leadership Club, our Builders Club, and they work during the summer to enhance our STEM experiences for our students, including Camp Invention and the recent Lawrence Technical University STEM program that some of our students attended. And they're also looking to start an esports program at Seats Middle School, so maybe we'll be recognizing them up here sometime. Mrs. Chrysler and Mrs. Elmont. Our last teacher, who is not here right now, but we still want to recognize her, is Mrs. Gainig. Mrs. Gainig has built and developed an ELA curriculum in cooperation with her PLC. She is also one of our MTSS strategy teachers who are working with our students struggling in English. She has worked for the past 2 years as one of our summer enrichment teachers, and she's also the leader of implementing the Positivity Project at Seats Middle School. Congratulations to you all.
A couple others that could not join us, Marcy O'Connell and Lisa Gadwell, both are our Young Fives teachers. Alexia Matthew is a kindergarten teacher at Huntington. Vince Lagin is fourth grade teacher at Huntington. Christy Kruger is one of our music teachers at multiple of our elementaries. So again, I reiterate my thanks. Us as administrative team, us as students, us as a community, especially in these times of not having good teachers or even teachers at all, really appreciate what you bring to Riverview each and every day from the bottom of our hearts, and keep doing what you're doing because you're helping to make Riverview great. Thank you. Got to squeeze in for a picture. All right, thank you again for all of you who came out tonight, and you're welcome to stay. This is a public meeting, but if you're going to skedoodle, now's the time. Yeah. Sorry, Jamie, I didn't mean to say
Next, we will have our audit presentation with Jamie Rivette from Yao and Yao.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, I think I got it.
How do you share the screen on this? Her screen is to the right. Kira.
Help!
How do you cast this sucker? I don't know Chromebooks. How do you get it to share the screen?
Like screen share. I don't know.
All right.
Is it one of these down here, do you think?
Gallery files.
No.
You have to like
Oh, that's it.
this.
Let's see. Up on here? She had her mouse up there earlier. Do you see where it says November 28? I don't know how she had it up.
I just open files.
I think if you can get your mouse back on that monitor.
Let me see real quick. So it's on yours?
Yeah, oh, I just seen it.
Oh, so it's this way.
Yeah, right there. I think you're right, if you clicked on that.
Then just click on it.
But it's not like,
It's showing it on a different spot is what it's doing.
Double tap it.
It's already open, it's just not, it's over here.
It's on the other monitor.
Is there a key combination to stop
Here,
sharing?
I'm just
the
gonna plug it in
screen,
here.
Like a Control F5 or Alt F5?
Can't grab it. I can't grab it.
let me try it from here.
Is it a Macintosh?
This is a Mac.
Thank you. I'm sorry. You're fine, you're fine. Okay, so then I can just do down arrow. Oh, yeah. Okay,
Better.
perfect. Little technical difficulties. Okay, well, thank you for having me here tonight. We did meet earlier and go over the financial statements as well as the presentation in more detail. So I always say you're lucky you get the Cliff's Notes version. So you'll get the high-level version, but I know you all have a packet of information too at your table. So if you go through that and have any questions later, just reach out to Lonnie. He knows how to get a hold of me, and I can answer any questions you may have. My name is Jamie Rivette. I'm an audit partner with Yo and Yo CPAs, and we completed your audit this year for the district. So today I'm going to go over the highlights. First, want to really point out the purpose of the audit. So Michigan Department of Education requires every school district within the state of Michigan to have an annual audit done by an independent CPA firm. So what happens is then, as your auditors, we come in and audit the information that's presented. And management really are the ones that are responsible for that preparation and fair presentation of those financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, which are the rules we need to follow. And then my team and I audit that information and issue you an opinion on those financial statements. And the district was issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance offered, and it means there's no material modifications that need to be made to those financial statements. And on this slide, you can see we did have an adoption of a new accounting standard this year. So I just wanted to point that out too. It's related to the subscription-based information technology arrangements. So now we'll talk about some of the numbers within the financial statements. This is really a snapshot in time as of June 30th. And the first column is your general fund, which is the main operating fund of the district. A couple things I'll point out there. You can see there's a little over $7 million in the due from other governmental units. So that's made up mostly of your state aid money for July and August, which is consistent with every year that we have that receivable in there, with some additional federal grant dollars just due to timing of when you received it of about $995,000. We have investments in the general fund of a little over $5.3 million, so our total assets is $13.1 million. The liabilities in the general fund, you can see there in the middle, there's about 3 of them that are close to $1 million, a little over $1 million each. The first one is due to other governmental units, so that's related to the UAAL payment of about $1.1 million. And then we have accrued expenditures and accrued salaries payable. So the salaries payable is really the time worked that just hasn't been paid out yet as of June 30th. So then at the bottom there we have your fund balance, which are broken into a couple of different categories. We have some non-spendable, some committed funds, as well as some assigned funds. Now the second column is all of your other funds combined into one. So that's your cafeteria, your student activities, the debt fund, sinking fund, as well as your athletic complex. And there you have about $1.4 million in total assets, within about $97,000 in total liabilities. On the next slide I have is just a presentation for your revenue and expenditures for your general fund. So we can see we had revenues that exceeded our expenditures of about $2.4 million in the general fund, and then the non-major governmental funds had an increase to their fund balance of about $114,000. So this is the comparison of your general fund budget to actual. That first column is your original budget. So as the board, you adopt that budget before the start of your fiscal year. So that would have been adopted back in June of 2022. So it's in place before you start your fiscal year. And that's with the information that you know at that time. So the best guess was that we were going to have expenditures exceeding our revenue of about $186,000. And the second column is the final budget. So throughout the year, things change. There's decisions made at the state level. You might find out you get some additional grants. Those then get adopted and adjusted through that second column, which is the final budget. That also comes to the board and gets approved at the board level. So you then at that time had anticipated that we would add to the fund balance about $630,000. And then in the right column, that's what actually happened. So we have our revenue and our expenditures there with an increase of about $2.4 million. Off to the right, because to us, those are, significant increases as we don't deal with a $38 million budget. But you can see how accurate you really are compared to your final budget. So your revenue, almost spot on there, 99% accurate. And the expenditures, that was about 94% accurate too. So a great job to the board for keeping an eye on that, amending the budget as necessary, and keeping your eye on that, and making sure that you're staying in line with those budgets. The next two graphs I have are a pie chart. It's just a different way, I think, to look at where the revenue is coming from on this slide. It's a little easier than trying to follow some numbers across the page here. So the biggest section here at the bottom is coming from the state. So your state aid makes up about 84% of your total general fund revenue. This was up compared to last year. There was about a $3.5 million increase in your state aid dollars. The majority of that was related to a one-time UAL payment or deposit from the state that was turned around and paid out to MIPSers. And then we had some new grants this year for categorical related to safety as well as mental health. That's included in that $32.3 million. Your local dollars make up about 7%. That's $2.5 million, and the majority of that is the property taxes. And then we have federal grants, a little over $2 million. The expenditure side, then, if we are talking for your general fund here, you can see that salaries of 42% and then employee benefits of the 34%. When you combine them together, it really talks about, the majority of your general fund expenditures is related to people. Not included in those two figures, though, are some of your subs and contracted employees, as those are reported in the purchase services off to the left up there of about 11%. So when you do include those in to the salaries and employee benefits, you're going to be closer to that 80%, which is typical for a district that 80 to 85% of your general fund expenditures are spent on people. Here we have a bar chart where it's just doing a comparison for the past 5 years of your revenue and expenditures. So excluding last year's, you can see the previous 3 years then, our revenue did exceed our expenditures. Compared to last year, this year's expenditures did increase slightly, about $78,000. So they were pretty flat compared to last year. Whereas our revenue did have an uptick of about $3.2 million. As I mentioned earlier, the majority of that was coming through in your state aid. This slide is just really comparing you to your peers, and by that it's comparing you to your peers based on your state aid membership. So we look at the state aid membership, which is that top line there of where your peers are, and what percentage is their unassigned fund balance compared to your general fund expenditures. So when you do that calculation for Riverview, that equates to the 15.23%. And so compared to your peers, that your peers are about 23% based on the state aid membership, but you're right in the recommended amount of what MDE recommends to be the 15 to 20%. So you can see you had increased it from last year, which was about 13.69%. And then my last couple of slides I have are talking about the internal controls and compliance piece of the audit. So not only do we audit the financial statements, but we're also required to gain an understanding of your internal controls. And here's just a quick overview of the financial statements. In doing that, our audit, we did not identify any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, nor any material non-compliance items. And because you do receive and spend more than $750,000 in federal grants, we have to do an additional audit, which is called a single audit, and that is purely on the federal grants. So we did audit 2 major programs this year, Child Nutrition Cluster, as well as the Education Stabilization Fund. And again, we did not recognize or identify any material weaknesses or deficiencies that need to be reported. As I mentioned earlier, we did have one new standard that we adopted. It was immaterial to the financial statements as a whole, so you're not going to see it recorded or anything changed within your financial statements. Within the letter that you would have at your desk, there does talk about some significant estimates that we have in the financial statements. And those are your net pension liability, your net OPEB liability, and then the useful lives of your fixed assets, as well as some of the lease agreements that we have too. Then my last item that I wanted to point out is there was one item that we did include as a management comment and recommendation. So as we're doing the audit, we're always looking for ways to help you gain efficiencies, make sure that you're in compliance. And one item that was noted was just the net cash resources for your food service fund. So it's the same comment that was in there last year, and it really is just because it's a bad problem to have, right? You have too much cash sitting in the cash account when they do the calculation of 3 months of expenditures within your cafeteria fund. And really it relates to an influx of revenue coming in over the past couple of years for the COVID money that was coming in, and can't spend it fast enough. So MDE does require you to have that comment in here because of the federal regulations require that to be 3 months or less. So when we did the calculation, it was over that. But as we talked about in the meeting earlier, you're working on the spend down plan on how to spend those funds. And again, it's a good problem to have when you have too much money sitting there. So that really is just a high-level overview, and I do want to just thank Lonnie and his team for an excellent job. We didn't have any findings and no significant deficiencies, and the one comment and recommendation, is something I've seen at every one of my districts this year too. So a great job there. Are there any questions that I could answer for you?
The 85% salary and benefits, that's typical of most districts, right? We're well aligned. I've seen that number before.
Yes, yep.
And just a question for anyone watching, our sinking funds are part of the audit too, and they're in compliance too. We just got tremendous support from the community on a sinking fund renewal. So I just want to let them know that our sinking funds are part of the audit, and they're part of the, within compliance with all the controls in that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just want to also thank Jamie for all of her hard work and working with Lonnie and the team, and also extending that thanks to Superintendent Hatzel. Lonnie and his team always budget conservatively to try to have a surprise on the upside. Once in a while, we'll read in the news, districts sometimes have a surprise on the downside, and we've been fortunate to always have a fund surplus and adding to it over the years. And again, Lonnie, thank you, and thank you, Superintendent Hatzel, for all the work all throughout the year to bring the audit with flying colors. Thank you again. And also I want to thank Jamie for serving on her own local board. And I know, we all know that's That's a big job sometimes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie, and have a safe drive back.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to guest and visitor comments for the 2-minute session. The purpose of the public participation portion of the meeting is to provide an opportunity for the citizens to share their thoughts with the board. Personal concerns are best handled through proper channels. Questions requiring investigation will be referred to the superintendent for consideration. Any guest and visitors with comments? Next, we'll move on to item A62, acceptance of agenda. Do I have a motion?
President Board,
Trustee Toth.
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education accepts the agenda for the November 28th, 2023 regular meeting.
Motion by Trustee Toth. Do I have support?
Support.
Support by Trustee Meeks. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, a roll call, please.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Vice President Deminsky?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Consent grouping, item A63. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Trustee Meeks.
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education accept the minutes of October 2023 study session, the minutes of October 2023 regular meeting, the minutes of October 30th, 2023 board self-evaluation workshop, and approves the check registry and purchase card expense reports as all contained in the consent grouping.
Motion by Trustee Meeks. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Davis. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Vice President Deminsky?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to board updates, administrative comments, legislative reports. Superintendent Hatzel.
Thank you, President Bohr. I want to echo the sentiments to our business team. Mr. Draper and Shannon and Lori do an excellent job of complying and working hard. And I also send those sentiments to our admin team who help manage a large portion of the budgets within their buildings or departments. So thank you there. And again, thank the board for helping us, to keep things in line. We had a good fiscal year with a little bit of uncertainty, so hopefully we can maintain that fund balance going forward. So thank all those people. A couple of things that are happening across the district. Right before Thanksgiving, the Downriver Career and Technical Consortium made a road trip to our facilities to highlight some of the many, many programs that they offer in career and technical education. So every single one of our Riverview fifth graders got to go visit some of the programs in the gymnasiums at our school. So a very cool event for them, even though they're only in grade 5, to start thinking about some opportunities in career education. I want to thank the community, as Mr. Bohr mentioned earlier, with tremendous support for our sinking fund. This is an extremely valuable asset to our district to keep our facilities, and the great support from the people of Riverview is much appreciated. Also, I want to thank our school leaders and community partners for their help with reviewing our emergency operations plan. In case there ever is a situation where we need to react quickly with an emergency plan, we've got a good piece of work in place, and recently just modified that, continuing to think about new ways to protect our most valuable asset, our students and staff. So thanks to the Riverview Police, Fire, Mr. Haley, who's here tonight, and as I said, all the administrators and leaders in the buildings that participated with that review. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Next, we'll have RCHS Student Liaison, Kiera.
Obviously, as said before, we had a lot of coaches that had spoken about fall athletes and their accomplishments, and Riverview takes really good pride in that. And to wrap up trimester 1, the Drama Club hosted the 39 Steps play. Following that, we had final exams for students. The Student Council provided cider and donuts in the morning to get the students off to a good start. This then brought us to Thanksgiving break. As we come back now for trimester 2, winter sports are already in progress. Hockey has already had 5 games, with their next game being tomorrow at Kennedy Ice Rink against Groseal. Boys basketball started tonight. Varsity game started at 7 at Trenton. Girls basketball's first game is next week, and bowling and wrestling are also starting soon, along with boys swimming. Key Club is collecting hats and gloves throughout the week, and the drop-off is in the counseling office and library. Lastly, we have the NHS induction ceremony this Thursday, the 30th, where 52 new inductees will be inducted in.
Thank you, Kara. Next, we'll move on to new business. Item A64, acceptance of the 2022-23 audit. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
Each year, the school district is required by law to have an independent auditing firm review its financial practices and overall financial condition. The firm of Yeo and Yeo performed this review. Jamie Rivette, CPA, has provided a brief public review of the audit and answered questions posed by the board. It is the recommendation of the superintendent and director of business and finance that the Board of Education accept the audit report.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do we have a motion?
President Bohr.
Trustee Meeks.
Be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education accept the 2022-2023 school year audit as presented by Yeo and Yeo.
Motion by Trustee Meeks. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Vice President Dominski. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Vice President Dominski.
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Meeks.
Yes.
Trustee Toth.
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien.
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to item A65, approve the purchase of Power School Solution add-ons for 504 Plan and MTSS. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
Power School special programs will allow for identification and eligibility of students, electronic creation and storage of necessary accommodation logs, teacher notification of 504 plans, and ensure compliance. The Power School Analytics and Insights MTSS includes an early warning system for attendance, grades, and behavior, allow for tailored intervention plans, and monitors progress, provides instructors a historical perspective of their students. Interventionists can make notes and report attendance, and will help with scheduling interventions. The administrative PLC team and the SIS management team have reviewed, demonstrated, and worked with these programs to ensure their capabilities. It is the recommendation of the superintendent and the district technology coordinator that the Board of Education approve the purchase of these programs, including the digital signature option, for the amount of $28,071.28.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Vice President Dominski.
be it resolved that the Riverview Board of Education approve the purchase of the Power School special programs for 504 and Power School Analytics and Insights for MTSS modules as solution add-ons to our current student information system for an amount not to exceed $28,071.28.
Motion by Vice President Dominski. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Toth. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Vice President Dominski.
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Meeks.
Yes.
Trustee Toth.
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien.
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to guest and visitor comments for the 5-minute session. Any guest and visitors with comments? Next, we'll move on to items for discussion presented by board members concerning which no action can be taken. Any items for discussion?
President Bohr?
Trustee Meeks.
I would like to say that I went to the play, the 39 Steps, and everyone did an outstanding job. The kids and the lighting and everyone that participated. It was funny. It was very entertaining. It was a great play. They worked really hard. I don't know how they can remember all their lines, but it was outstanding.
Well, thank you, Trustee Meeks. Any other comments, items for discussion? I would also like to say on behalf of the whole board, I'd like to thank the community for their overwhelming support of the sinking fund. The yes vote margin for this time was 67%, compared to 62% back in 2018 for our earlier version of the sinking fund. I want to thank Superintendent Hatzel and his team and the others who helped for really getting the information out there in many different avenues for the voters to be informed. And I feel this shows the community, the family, and the students that our district has done a great job with the funds from the 2018 regular bond and sinking fund. Superintendent Hatzel and his team and Dr. Piquel before have demonstrated prudent spending and ensuring the funds are spent with the best interests of the students' learning environment and the staff working environment in mind. And this will continue going forward. This is another source of pirate pride for our district. With that, if there's no other items, I will read future business. Future business, December study session will be on Monday, the 18th at 6:30 p.m. at RCHS. And the regular meeting for December will be in the Riverview City Hall Council Chambers, Tuesday, December 19th at 7 p.m. Next, we'll need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Dominski. Do I have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Meeks. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Trustee O'Brien?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned at 8 o'clock.